Okay, so yes, this is my dear friend slash sister, Lisa.
Hi, ladies.
They all have your book in front of them.
All right.
She started her consulting business, 2 years ago? Millennial Consulting. She has her sister's program where she works with millennial women to get them better money habits, a good solid foundation so they can make the most out of the money they're earning, have a significant impact on their lives, and then work with an advisor next. So she is that missing link that most of us, we don't have. We don't learn this in college. We don't learn it in high school, really. And most people get so overwhelmed and confused by money, they don't do anything. So she's able to give them the start that we do need in life before we work with an advisor or somebody like me. And tonight she's going to talk about being our most authentic self. You can see she's pretty famous. She's a celebrity. I have your presentation behind me.
Great. Okay. Are you going to navigate for me?
I will scroll down for you.
Okay, fabulous. All right. Am I on? It's my turn?
I'm sorry. You are on.
I'm here?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, ladies. So I can see 4 of you. Is that all that we have in the room tonight?
Yes.
Okay, fabulous.
Yep.
Fabulous. Thank you for braving the amazing hurricane weather and showing up for yourself. And I know Jess well enough to know, I've known Jess, so we met almost exactly 2 years ago in our own mentorship format, and we were both scared, and we were both really in the question about what can we do to make the biggest impact on this planet, knowing what we know. And so seeing you at the table just reminds me of my own journey to this point of becoming an authentic woman and being in the question. And I powerfully, firmly believe in the value of investing in ourselves over and over and over again. So I acknowledge you for doing what it takes to be there tonight, but not just tonight, of course, for stepping up at this point in your lives and saying, hey, we want help, raising our hands. We want help to make this the best part of our lives. And we want to learn how to make money work for us. And we want to learn how to use money to do the things that we love to do. Am I right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah. So, I blink my eyes and I fast forward 40 years, and this is where my clients are at this table, just like you, saying, all right, what's next? Really. And ultimately, that's the question, what's next? Because I don't think that it's ever, we're done. It's just, how can I reach that next level in life? How can I have the next impact that I want to have in my life? You all have amazing stories. I know that, because Jess wouldn't have attracted you into your world had you not lived amazing lives already. So I'm here tonight, I think, as much as I love talking about money, I'm here because Jess invited me to say, hey, let's talk about what is your definition of the next chapter of your life. And Jess, I know, talks about this, that retirement's just the beginning. We're all reaching for retirement. We're all reaching for that day where we don't have to wake up every day, go to work, and chase the money. The money's there, and now we just get to have fun with it. That would be my definition of a fulfilling retirement. And I know my boyfriend's in the kitchen right now. I'm sure that we're all thinking about that. What's next? How do we get there? How do we get there faster? And how do we enjoy it as best as possible? So can I get a raised hand if that resonates with you?
I think that's a help.
Yes. Yes. So I'd love to hear from you for just a minute. I'd love to hear who you are and why you're here. Not for my talk in particular, but why you joined the Strong Retirement Club.
Lori, you want to start?
I'll start. I'm Lori. I've been in education this is my 28th year, and I'm ready to start that next chapter. And I know Jess from elsewhere and heard about the wonderful things she was doing, and I'm scared. And but I need support. I need support from people who are like-minded and who are in the same situation as me. And I think I found them.
I think you did. Welcome.
That was one of the coolest things with the surveys. How many of you wrote down learning from the other women in it? Mm-hmm. Reading secrets, learning how to gain confidence from the women who are already retired too, right? So So next we have Georgianne.
Hi.
Very, not that comfortable, being on the spotlight and having to talk.
This is the safe zone.
It is.
But
Safe place.
I got to do it. So I'm Georgianne Polsch, and I've been retired 3 years now, actually. So I'm one of the older ones, and I like being retired. However, our daughter keeps us very busy because she has a farm, and so we're constantly going there and helping her out with situations that keep coming up and whatnot. I don't know what else to say.
That's it. That's perfect. So why are you here? So that's awesome. You're retired. You've been retired for a few years. Why are you in the Strong Retirement Club?
Well, I was with a different financial planner for many years, and decided that I wasn't getting this kind of information from them, partly because they're all the way in Oregon. And my daughter lives in New Jersey, and my husband and I live in New Jersey, and my son right now is living in Ireland, so he's all over the place. But I just thought, I would like to be a part of a company like this, where it's down the road from my house, and I can just come here and be one-on-one, get a lot more information face-to-face, not over the phone. And I just felt ignored before, and now I feel not at all. I've had these workshops here. I've had one-on-ones with Jessica, and it's just great. And I'm just, I'm learning a lot. I'm reading more. I didn't do my homework, but homework.
You're so much since you've made that switch.
Exactly.
I feel you know what's going on. You understand how it's being invested, the purpose of it, and what we do here is going to align with what we do with your money, because we work together at full capacity now. Right? You're in the club, money, and stuff. So.
Right. So that's it.
Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome.
Hi, Lisa. My name is Joanne. I've known Jess since she's been doing this.
Mm-hmm. She was my father's client before me.
Before that, right? Mm-hmm. So that's been really cool. Whatever, 4 or 5 years ago, I made a career change, and that was my first. I was in finance for a long time, and I got laid off, and I said, screw that. And I went to pastry school and became a pastry chef. And that was my first.
If you can see the cookies.
That's a really good job. And that was the first thing I ever did for myself, against what anybody else wanted me to do. I went to school for what other people wanted me to do. I did a job for what other people wanted me to do. And I was great at it, and it treated me well for a long time. But now I live a completely different life, doing completely different things, and in a completely different financial income situation. Mm-hmm. But it was, it was a really cool thing to do. And now I go to work and I'm very happy. I'm tired and in pain and I work long hours, but I like making grannies versus what I used to do. So I'm here because I'm scared also, but maybe for a different reason. I'm not sure. I'm not scared about having a fulfilling life. I'm scared about financially supporting a fulfilling life and giving myself permission to have that life, if I can, sooner rather than later. If I could retire tomorrow, I would. Can I? Too. And what do I have to do that? I just had us do something, and I had my first 2 questions are: can I legitimately and confidently retire when I'm supposed to, whatever that is, 67, and do I have to wait that long? Yeah. Or can I pick a date earlier and legitimately and confidently retire then? If that's tomorrow, I'm all in. If the day after this club ends, I'm retired, That would be awesome.
See your retirement
what
party.
do I have to do, to get there? So, and I'm afraid that that's never going to happen. Either one of those things are ever going to happen. So that's why I'm here to gain the confidence to
I love that.
make sure that's going to happen and
not be scared the
and
whole
not be
time.
scared of, right, exactly. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
Like I see myself working at McDonald's when I'm 80 years old. So like
A Walmart greeter.
Or Walmart, right, with the little polyester thing.
Nobody wants
Coles,
that.
exactly. Was that you that kept saying Coles? Yes. I was like, yes. That's exactly it. That's why I'm here.
Awesome. Nice to meet you.
And then we have Lon.
Hi, I'm Lon. I'm still working. I've been working for corporate America for
A long
35
time.
years now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'd like to get into
Yeah.
retirement within the next decade. Well, I'm not scared so much because I think I've done a decent job of saving, but I wanted to make sure that I was then going to use that money as efficiently as possible. That's the engineer in me.
Yep.
For my retirement, I don't want to waste it on taxes, or I don't want to waste it on whatever rules we have with regards to RMD and everything else. Like
You want to waste it on fun
Yeah.
and fulfilling things.
So
That's a good point.
So I have been, I guess I still am working with another financial advisor with regards to where to put the money in the
Money
investments.
management.
Yep.
But the implementation of that, using it in retirement, is what I need. And he didn't seem to be all that proactive with that part of it. And
Not
just
many are.
the couple of times that I've met with Jessica, she's already given me half a dozen ideas. And so I just feel much more comfortable with that. And I feel like I'm going to get more of what I need.
And we have they're two clients, two other women are clients. So I'm sure they'd be open to talk about what it's like working with me on the money management, right? This is what I do with you. That's what I do for you on the other side. So I'm sure all the women will be more than happy to. I know Joanne spoke with the woman who was looking to work with me. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay, awesome. So I know Jess has spoken about me. I'll just spend a minute or two introducing myself to you the way I would anyone else. Why money? Why me? Why now? Is really an important question that I think I should answer. I came into the finance industry in 2014 after 3 years of intense internal inquiry, essentially asking really tough questions of myself, of what is the meaning of life. And I know at that time I was only 31 years old, which is pretty young for a lot of people to be asking that kind of question. But as a Scorpio and just someone who I have always asked tough questions, I started to turn the mirror around and ask them of myself. What do I want to do with my life? What's purposeful in my life? And I had just come out of 12 years of working in higher education. I am an overachiever. By most definitions, I was student body president. I've always shown up my best, my highest. And I found myself as the director of advising, so the UNLV symbol is there. I was the director of advising for the Honors College at UNLV. That was my last position that I held at UNLV after my climb straight to the top. I was about 15, 20 years the youngest director on campus. I had been working with the top 1% of students, not only in Las Vegas, but they equivalently were the top 1% of students worldwide. These are fellows, these are currently 10 years later, doctors, lawyers, pharmacists, scientists, people making incredible impacts on their own now as young professionals. And I got really, really good at teaching people and advising people on how to make their dreams come true. Really good at it, to the point that they were out there doing it. And it was my turn in 2011 to say, all right, what the hell am I doing with my life? What do I want?
Pivots in our lives, right?
We all have those moments in our lives, no matter what age. And it came to the point where I love sustainability. I'm really passionate about animals, conservation, I'm not a millennial, but a very millennial mindset about making the world a better place. But that's also a very boomer mindset. We learn from the boomers. We want peace, we want love, we want harmony in the world. And what it really boils down to, ladies, is that there aren't many choices we make in the world today that don't involve money somehow, some way. Is that true?
Mhm. Oh yeah.
It's true. It's true. Whether your investments are out there doing good in the world or not, whether the money that you are saving ultimately and then spending is doing good in the world or it's not. And that's where I thought my fit was in the industry. That's why I joined the finance industry. I said, I want to teach people how to sustainably invest. Push comes to shove, after about 3 years in the industry, I realized that the investment world was not my fit. Working with millennials was my fit. Working with young people, inspiring them was my fit. And teaching them how to make responsible choices with their money was where I wanted to be. And that was through a process of Jess and I working with our coach at the same time to say, who do I want to make a difference with? How am I going to do that? And that's where my brand was born, by saying I want to work with young people and I want to teach them how to make a difference today in their lives so that they can get to your point in life and say, I got it. I got it. I have saved enough, but I'm also doing what I really love in my life and I'm living purposefully. So that's where my book was born. I teach women, typically I teach women, young women, ages 35 and younger, how to control their money, more importantly, how to live purposefully and how to love their lives. Because that was the journey that has gotten me here, where I love what I do. I love who I help. I'm making great money doing it. I want that for everyone. And so Jess and I have really good conversations on opposite ends of the spectrum about how can we teach women specifically how to own their whole life in totality. We want you to stop stressing about money. We want you to go out there and kill it and have a great life because you've worked for it and you're worth it. You agree?
Yes.
Yeah,
Are you with me?
that's what I tell myself. I don't know if I believe it.
You've invested in
That's
this year because you're worth it, right? Joanne,
Right.
you got your book? And,
I haven't read it yet, no. I haven't.
Joanne had your
Yes.
book before we get you.
Yes.
Thank you again for the
Thank
books.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I'm grateful to give.
We agree with you.
That's my journey, and it hasn't necessarily been easy, but it's absolutely been worth it. And so when Jess and I were grounding about what is it that I'm going to share with you tonight, she's like, well, let's not talk about money specifically. There's plenty of opportunity for that. Let's talk about authenticity, because a woman who's walking her truth and living authentically is also my hope. This isn't always the case, but as a part of the Strong Retirement Club and being in our world, my hope is that you connect the two. So the chef in the room, you've done some work to say, this is what I want to do authentically. And so once we get closer and closer and closer, this is a lifelong journey, Oprah would say, that we are on this path to self-awareness, self-actualization our entire lives. But today is a great opportunity to check in and say, am I living my most authentic life? And are the choices I'm making with my money aligned? Do those two things match? Because a lot of the times we don't take enough time to check in with our money, not just saving enough. Are we saving enough for retirement? What am I doing on a daily basis that aligns authentically with who I am? So good old Webster's Dictionary defines authenticity as legitimacy, validity, correctness, trustworthiness, credibility, dependability, factualness. Those aren't typically words that I would have thought associate with authenticity specifically. But can you yourself understand and get how those words align with you living your authentic life? Can you see the connection?
What are you giving to authenticity?
Do you see that slide, Jess? Can you
Yes,
pull it
yeah,
over?
we have it. Yeah, Joanne asked, what words were you thinking when you envisioned authentic?
Real,
Authenticity. Real, yeah.
honest,
Mm-hmm.
purposeful. I didn't pull in the accuracy, dependability, reliability.
I could see like the truthfulness, purity. I could kind of see reliability and credibility.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit, but you're right, like the accuracy, the validity, legitimacy. Correct.
Legitimacy was I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So when we take it a step or cut deeper, thinking about authenticity for yourself, it would be a great opportunity for you to journal say in the mornings or in some free time, to ask yourself, am I living legitimately to my purpose, to my value? Am I owning my worth? Do other people in my life experience me in that way? So a lot of times what happens is we get into the hustle of life and the burn of life and the work of life. We don't take enough time to stop and really think, do my actions and my words align with my dreams?
You're right.
So
we get too busy.
We get too busy. So ask yourself, do my actions and my even in my money habits align with my dreams in life? You're looking at the next you're already in, or looking at the next greatest chapter of your life, which hasn't been written yet. And you've done a great job of saving, so you've got some arsenal behind you. You have money to invest in yourself and your dreams, to say what's possible. And my pastor has said this, I've researched this, other life coaches I work with have looked at this, and like there are these top 5 things that people have regrets about at their deathbed. And not following their authentic life is right up there with one of the most regretted things when we die, is that we didn't go all in on ourselves. So it's a tough question. It's a deeper question, but I think it's the most important thing for you to ask today, so that you can make the most out of the money that you have and that you will have in retirement.
Yeah, because this is the most amount of money you guys are going to have. As you come up to retirement, retirement, the most amount of wealth that you're going to have.
And the field is wide open for potentially the first time in your life. The script has not been written.
Very true.
So let's go to the next slide, Jess.
All right. Oh, good question.
It's hard to sometimes think about ourselves without doing extra investigation, but let's open it up. Who do you experience out in the world as authentic human beings?
And then kind of what are the qualities they have?
Yeah, let's just start with identifying. Let's just start with identifying who those people are. Who are those people out in the world that you see that you would say they're authentic?
Pope Francis.
Pope Francis. He's pure.
Yeah.
He's pure.
He's real.
Is he trustworthy?
Mm-hmm.
Is he reliable?
Seems it.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Honest? Like, go back to those words. Is he someone that you would associate with those words? Is he legitimate? Is he dependable? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Who else? Who else would you say in the world is an authentic human being?
No. I started in my personal life thinking.
That's what I was like.
The people around me, right? Yeah.
Who do you know that's authentic?
One of my closest friends, I would think of her as authentic because she lets us know what's going on with her life, right? She opens up fully. Sometimes you have those friends as like a surface friend. You don't feel like you're making a deep connection with them when you talk. Like, how you doing? How's the weather? How's your job?
Right.
But her, and that's how I kind of feel like an authentic person, they're really opening up. Show me the good and the bad, right? The good, the bad, the ugly, right?
Mm-hmm. Does that make them more reliable, more
Because
trustworthy?
they're not sugarcoating everything. So when they open up, you feel you can open up, right? Like I shared our journey together with my postpartum earlier. You missed that. But because you've been very open and honest with me, I felt I could be too. Right? It opens the door to that in a deeper relationship.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyone else have any thoughts about who are those people out in the world that you would identify as being authentic?
Well, I can't believe I'm saying this because I'm hardly like in this great marriage, but my husband, he is really those things. If you're talking about the definition, Webster's definition, he's reliable, he's authentic, he's dependable. He drives me crazy. I want to divorce every other week, but I think.
But he's saying true to himself.
Yes, but I think he fits a lot of those terms, as does my. I work in school and our principal.
Yeah,
That's nice if your higher ups, your bosses, and your coworkers are like that. If they're reliable and dependable.
Which was one, I worked with him, then he went to the middle school, but I always just still kind of work with him. Now I'm working with him closely again, and he made me kind of raise that question, do I stay another year? Because I just think he's just phenomenal. What you see is what you get. Good and bad. He's not a sugarcoater, like you said. So they're the two that pop into my head.
Right. So there are organizations where, to take it a step further, this person, your husband, your principal, Pope Francis, when we hear about scandals out in the real world of these people that are famous, is that they are perceived to be a certain way. But then when you look at how they're making choices with their money, with people, with organizations, really, and coming back to the money, where they're voting with their dollar, if there are pieces of their lives that do not match who they represent themselves to be, that's where all the disruption comes from. Because you're like, wait a minute, I thought they were being authentic, but then there's all this stuff behind them. This is not who they're representing themselves to be. They're not living dependably, factual, trustworthy, correct. And so looking at these people that you've identified, then Jesse, you can go to the next slide. The question is, are you living authentically? And I can't answer that question, but looking at this next chapter of your life, we only get, from what I know, even though I believe in reincarnation, I won't know who I am coming back. We got one shot. We've got one shot. And women over and over again, just doesn't, I don't think, teach these money types exactly the same way, but you have a type of personality.
We actually went through those first.
Money types. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So this is the over generous money type, is the person that spends a great deal of time and energy in her life spending money on other people, giving it away. And an authentic woman who has big dreams, who has things that she'd like to accomplish, whatever chapter she's in her life, is she being authentic to herself if she's giving all of her money away over generously and not fulfilling her dreams? Our children, one of the things that makes our children the most sad in their lives is when we see parents with unrealized dreams. When we see parents not follow their truth, their path. So are you living authentically, and are the decisions you're making with your money a match? What would you say on a scale of 1 to 10? How would you rate yourselves there?
This is so funny. I figured all the women were going to get a lot out of this. I'm like, I already know this stuff. I'm like, wow, I'm really taking a look at myself. One thing, and we have a call with our coach Tuesday nights, and Tuesday night, she was helping me. There's an issue with my payment as here part of the firm. I'm doing all these things, bringing a lot of value. I wrote a book, right? My dad and my brother weren't on the weekends and at night writing the book. I was taking time away from my family to write the book. And now my coach is like, well, you aren't being authentic and congruent with your message if you aren't standing up for yourself and the value you bring to the firm. So now I'm like, wow, this is really, it's like another message from God, that I'm not being authentic if I'm telling all these women to stand up for their life, be an advocate for their life, being strong women, if I'm not doing it myself with where I work.
Yep.
Here's my baggage. But it's so true, and it's funny. I'm like, I'll just listen. It'll be really interesting what Lisa says, but wow.
You're doing work.
Yeah.
So this is the question for you ladies to ask yourself. as you're doing work in the Strong Retirement Club is here's a question. So you can write these things down and noodle on them, as one of my clients says that I love. Write this question down. And I'm sure Jess is going to work with you on this, but what is my vision for retirement? Jess, I know you do that with them, right?
Yes, I'm going to write them down too.
What is my vision for retirement? In three areas. In work/community. So you may not be working, but somewhere you're probably working in the community for your family. You're still working, even though it's not the same translation in business. In relationship, what's my vision in relationship? And if you have an unfulfilled dream, what's your vision for fulfilling that in retirement? That could be travel, that could be owning a farm, and you know, for me, that's one of my big visions, is having a farm where I rescue animals. So what are those three things? And then the next layer of that, Jess, this would be a great exercise to work through with them, with you ladies, is what choices am I making with my money specifically to move me in the direction of my vision? This is what I teach in my book. What are the choices I'm making daily? It can't just be about saving, because that's boring, and that's like a long-term goal. It has to be about spending and loving to spend. So what's my vision, and how am I making choices in these three areas to fulfill my vision? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Joanne, can I bring up one of your questions or points? So they all did a survey for tonight, Lisa, and Joanne wanted to know, but aren't all discretionary expenses, aren't all discretionary expenses taking me away from future goals?
Uh-huh.
By definition, working against future financial security, right?
Uh-huh.
And that kind of went into what you said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are my discretionary, so when I hear the word discretionary, honestly, what comes up for me is throwaway money, or money that doesn't work toward the plan. It's just free money, kind of, when I think of discretionary, which I know isn't exactly the example, but if you looked at every choice that you're making as intentional, and it's a choice, no matter what category it fits into, it can still move you toward that goal. And so I equate time is money. We invest in three different ways of our lives. I know this is a lot of content, and I can always come back and we can work through it, but time, money, and people are the three ways we invest. So as much as you're investing money for your future, you should be investing money today, time today, and in people today that get you closer to that dream, that vision. Every choice you make should be intentional toward your vision. So even discretionary money, if your vision is to enjoy your life, make decisions with your discretionary money that will take your joy level up. Not being mindless about what you're spending, but is this going to bring joy to my life or not? If it doesn't, don't do it. Does that support you? If it doesn't, I'm happy to speak more into that. Does that help?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
We do a lot of stupid shit with our money and we don't even realize it. We do. We do. I have a client, I just met with her last week. She's got $1.5 million in the bank. She's in her 40s. She's not worried about retirement, but she is squandering every other bit of money that comes her way, throwing it away, not having an impact, not helping the people that she's born to help. And so we're getting her clear today on what choices she's making with money she doesn't need for retirement so that she can have a bigger impact on the planet. Okay?
Awesome.
Cool. All right, so let's go down just to, we already talked about vision. What's the gap? In my experience, so go down to page 7.
Mm-hmm. We got it.
in my experience, these are the 3 things that hold people back from living authentically. There are probably more, but simply put, the 3 things, some of you spoke about this already tonight, is that fear, lack of clarity, and lack of trust. Trust of yourself, trust of others, is the gap between you and living your most authentic life. So you can go down to number 8. Slide number 8. Mm-hmm. How many times, ladies, have you used money as an excuse for not doing something? When's the last time you used money as an excuse for not doing something? Can you recall?
Always. A lot of times.
Always.
Going on a big trip.
Yeah, I was thinking vacation.
Getting your house, not retiring when you want to. Not living a full life in retirement because you're scared you'll run out of money.
Right? Mm-hmm. Growing up, we didn't do stuff whether or not we had money, period. Money was the only reason we did stuff or not. And I caught myself telling my son that growing up. He's 10. And so my son would be like, can we do this? And I'd be like, no, we don't have the money. Truth was, we had the money. I just didn't want to do it. I didn't want to take him to the movies. Right? Or any other examples? Vacation's a good one. What other reasons do you use money for not doing something? Just sit on it. You'll catch yourself, I can guarantee you, over the next few days, wanting to save money. I can guarantee it. It's going to come up. But really, it's not money, ladies, because I know and I believe that we are in an abundant world. So if fear, lack of clarity, and lack of trust didn't exist in your life, you would be doing certain things because you would believe that the money would be there. So opening a bakery or baking for a living took a lot of trust. And it took a lot of taking the fear out of the equation. It took a lot of clarity on how you were going to do it. And so my invitation for you tonight, if you leave with nothing else, don't let money be the reason that you don't live your most authentic life. It's a very easy scapegoat, and it's a very easy consideration. But here's what it boils down to. So let's go down just to slide number 9. Just to look at fear as an example, Jess is a powerhouse when it comes to money. And so if you lack clarity on how you can do something, be willing to ask the question, how? Not, oh, I'm not going to have the money. Be willing to ask the question where you can get to work and start putting the pieces of the puzzle together. But on slide 9, do you see it, Jess?
Yes. Okay.
So here's the reality of fear as an example. A lot of people will say they're scared of the dark. How many of you have children who have told you before that they're scared of the dark?
I'm terrified of the dark.
Right?
Terrified.
Right? Truth is, you're not really scared of the dark. You're scared of what's in it. Mm-hmm. You're not scared of retirement. You're scared of what's in it. Right. Make sense? Mm-hmm. You're not afraid of heights. You're afraid of falling. You're not afraid of retirement. You're afraid of not having enough money in retirement. But what further than that, it's not about not having enough money in retirement. It's not having enough money to live the life that you want to live in retirement. So when we take fear off and say, let's just not use money as the reason, let's look deeper at what is really going on. What's stopping you from living your authentic retirement? Okay? You're not afraid of letting go. You're afraid of accepting the reality that he's gone, potentially, right? Or she's gone, or your children's gone, right? Mm-hmm. So I'd like to go to number 11, go to slide number 11. And I know this is content heavy. It wasn't designed to be a workshop tonight, but Jess, we can always come back and you can use these tools for however you'd like. But ladies, what I'd like for you to do, looking at your vision for retirement, And looking at those 3 prongs that I gave you for retirement, take it a step further. So this is like a 3-part exercise of here's my vision for retirement. Here are the choices I'm making or not making. What stories are you really telling yourself? What are the lies that you're telling yourself?
Like the beliefs I was talking about. We talked about beliefs and behaviors earlier.
Yep.
Exactly. The beliefs are the stories.
Yep. What stories are you telling yourself for why you can't have it? And that goes with lack of clarity. If you aren't clear about the stories, the bullshit that you're feeding yourself about why you can't have it, you'll never have it. So if we understand and identify what those stories really are, there's a new possibility on the other side.
It kind of like the self-talk, right?
Yep.
Would we talk to our friend the same way we talk to ourselves? No.
Yep.
These bullshit stories. Would you tell your friend these same stories? No. But yeah,
Yep.
you have to gain clarity on what are these recurring themes going on in my mind and how are they preventing me from moving forward. And
Yep.
what's great about a story, as Lisa knows, she's an author, we can rewrite them, edit them, format them, make them look really nice and pretty.
Yep.
In a book.
Yep. So the next slide just kind of, it speaks to that, Jess, about what lack of clarity, what experience lack of clarity creates in your life. So if your vision isn't clear and you're not really sure what you want to do in retirement, but the fear of money keeps you stuck and keeps you feeling safe, then with lack of clarity, so I'm on slide 12, it keeps you stuck, creates even more confusion and chaos in your life and with others because they don't know what the heck you're doing. They don't know what you want. They don't know how to support you. It stops progress. And if it's not remedied, like we just said, it will be the excuse down the road. I don't know. But you're telling yourself, whatever you're telling yourself, the beliefs that you have are stopping you. So let's identify those first. So slide 13, just to kind of wrap it around. Clarity of purpose with your money, align with your vision in life, allows you to make daily choices, even with the discretionary money, that will move you in the direction of your most authentic life. So you vote with your dollars. Think of this statistic. 85% of the world's wealth is spent by women. We were born to spend. 10% of it is earned by women. 85% is spent by women. 10% of it is earned by women. We know how to spend money. So that's where we start. Even if earning more money isn't the answer right now for you in your life, you can make daily choices that will start moving you in the direction of your dreams. I promise you.
Very cool.
So just to bring it all around, I know that was like a speed read of authenticity, but slide 14 just says, to live our authentic lives, you must be willing to, 1, face your fear, which you're here. This is exactly why you're here. This is exactly why you're in the Strong Retirement Club, because money is not an excuse to not do what you want to do. And if you have plenty of it, even furthermore of an excuse not to do what you do. Be honest with yourself. Get clear on what's stopping you. Get clear on what you need to move forward. That's not even money sometimes. Maybe it's support of loved ones, for example. Create a trusting relationship with yourself above all else. Do you trust yourself? Do you trust what you want? If you don't know how to get it, involve the support of others to help you, experts to help you get it. Brene Brown, I highly recommend this talk by Brene Brown. It's on YouTube. It's called The Anatomy of Trust. She talks about braving it and what it looks like to trust. First and foremost, establish a trusting relationship with yourself, looking authentically at what you want, and then moving forward into the world. So I highly recommend that. Jess, I can send it to you if you want. You can share it out to the ladies.
Thank you.
My pleasure. And little things add up. So this goes back to the discretionary money. The choices you're making, the little choices you're making, it all adds up. You can open the flow to be trusted with the big things. This is more of a biblical term, but when you're trusted with the little things in life, then you can be trusted with the bigger things. So if you've got a big dream, go for it. But let's establish the trust that you need today with the little things to make it happen. And that all speaks to, am I doing the right things for retirement? Am I taking the right steps? Am I doing the right things with my money? That's it. Crash course. But I really hope it was valuable. I hope it opened up some bigger questions for you to work on throughout the process of the club. And Jess, I'll hand it back over to you.
Thank you, Lisa. And what Lisa likes to say, I'm going to let my mind work on that. Like fantasies get things, like your one client is noodling, right? It goes into our subconscious and we start rolling it around. And when the time comes when you need it, it's there, right? So thank you so much, Lisa.
Thank you.
And thank you again for the books. I will send this out.
Pleasure.
You okay if I share this with them, right?
Absolutely.
Share this? Awesome. So I'll send this out because there was a lot of good reflection things, I think, right?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Go enjoy your life at home. She's in.
Talk to you later.
All right. Bye.
Bye.